So today I'm going to be showing you a slightly different version of a card you've seen before. You've seen this card before. This was for a challenge that I did, actually a couple of challenges. And now I'm going to be doing a slightly different version. So that's the simple version. And then this is the stepped up version. So I've done the texture in the background, I've changed up my flower a bit, and I've added some ribbon. So what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be showing you how I made this flower. And it's a great flower. You can do it in any color and attach it to any kind of project. So your first piece of cardstock, you're going to be punching into your flower shape. Now I've used this one here, which is a punch, but you can also use a die or anything you'd like. And much to many of my crafters' dismay, we're going to be distressing this. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your nice straight piece of cardboard and you're going to scrunch it up. And you can get out all your anger in this. You're going to scrunch it up as hard as you can. Unfold it, scrunch it again. Roll it between your hands. You're also going to want to take your bone folder and you're going to want to flatten it out with your bone folder. What you're doing is you're breaking up all the fibers that are holding the cardstock together. And so what you should start to see is a bit of peeling around the edges. So once you start seeing that, you know that you've sufficiently broken up. See there? You can see how the ends are peeling apart a little bit. That means you're probably ready to pull apart your pieces. If you tear it a little bit, it doesn't matter. This technique is very forgiving for all those little cuts and tears. There we go, that's easier. So you're going to take this all apart. So that you've got two of your first flower. Now the next flower, I've used the floral framelits and run it through the Big Shot. So that's my piece here. And guess what? We're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to scrunch it up, work those fibers out so that we've got a nice, soft, pliable piece of cardstock to work with. Now before we actually peel these pieces apart, we're going to do one more step. Because these petals aren't very big, we're going to actually take our snips and just do a little bit of a cut into the center. Don't cut all the way because you don't want to cut your petals off. You just want to give your petals a little bit more definition. So they're just really little cuts into the center there. You could do this after too. I just prefer to cut once and then it's a little bit trickier to peel, but I've only had to cut once. You could just as easily do it after, especially if you're like me and tend to be a little bit forgetful. Okay, so now we've got two of that flower. Crunch it up a little bit more if you'd like to. Now for the last part, I've stamped this image from Mixed Bunch onto a piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to take my 1-inch circle punch. I'm just going to punch it out. We're not going to mess with this one, we're just going to layer them nicely together. So now we're going to take our Stampin' Pierce mat. We're going to layer all of these flowers over top of each other, alternating them so that the petals kind of overlap. Last but not least, our stamped piece. And then we're going to take our piercing tool and just poke a hole right through the center. And then, last but not least, you'll take a brad, and any brad will do. This one is one that I've made from a retiring brad. Put one of our jumbo rhinestones in the middle and colored it with a Blendabilities marker. You're going to bend down the back and it's ready to adhere to a card. You can fluff it up a little bit. And there you go. The easiest way I've found of attaching these to cards is actually using your dimensionals. And all it takes is one dimensional right on the back over the prongs, and that'll hold everything nice and still.